I'm afraid you can't go in just yet. The neurologists are still with Alex. Hey, why don't you try to eat something?
Oh, I'm not hungry.
Did you get any sleep last night?
Off and on. Every time I heard someone in Alex's room...
You got up to see what was going on. That's why I suggested you go home and sleep.
I can't leave Alex alone. What if he woke up and I wasn't there?
I understand.
Early this morning, I spent a half hour or so with him. He seems better to me, more responsive somehow. Is that possible, or is it my imagination?
Oh, no. It's not your imagination. Alex's condition is stable right now. We got through the most difficult, the most dangerous complication last night. That was the edema. If the tissues in his body had become built up with excess fluid, well, to tell you the truth, I don't know if he'd look as good as he does right now.
I heard one of the nurses talking about the possibility of another embolism.
Well, look, it's a possibility. But complications are always possible.
But if it happens, he'll die, won't he?
Hello?
Pete, it's Joe.
Where are you?
New York City, where I'm supposed to be.
I expected you to call last night. Where were you?
I was occupied, taking care of our business. Have you forgotten?
Is everything going on? You okay?
Yeah, fine.
Becker girl doesn't know you're there, does she?
What do you think, I'm stupid? Of course she doesn't. Look, everything's set. I'm gonna make my move tonight. Hello, Paige.
How you feeling?
Fine.
Stryker came by earlier. He told me about Alex. I'm sorry. It must have been very upsetting for you.
I just felt so helpless, Dennis. Stupid, really. I couldn't remember the first thing that I'd learned in first aid. After I'd called the ambulance, I just sat there staring at him, remembering all the wonderful things he's done for me, allowing me to stay in the suite at the top of the world building since we've been having troubles.
Yeah. Must have been off.
I know it isn't my place to tell you this, Dennis, but I really think that you should reconsider your feelings about Alex.
Paige, I don't dislike Alex.
You seem to.
I never did, really. I mean, that was Mom, mostly. She kept insisting that I accept his offer to be an assistant at World Oil.
I know, I remember.
And because he married my mother, he just felt that I should act like his son. Mom didn't help. She kept encouraging him.
Iris.
Mom's always in there trying. You know, the trouble with Mom is she doesn't realize she's her own worst enemy. Just won't accept it.
Dennis, I have to ask you a question.
Sure? What is it?
Why was Iris in Chris Shaw's office the night he was murdered?
Why do you say that, Paige? What makes you think that Mom was in Chris Shaw's office the night he was murdered?
Because I saw her driving out of the parking lot, Dennis. And I saw you slumped in the front seat next to her.
Well, why didn't you tell me that before?
Couldn't.
Even when you were arrested? You could have cleared your name right away.
You don't seem to understand, Dennis.
What's that?
I love you.
Enough to go to jail for me?
Why not? That's what the papers think that you're doing for me. Anyway, there was no point in clearing my own name if I knew that you were going to be arrested. I just couldn't do that.
You couldn't?
No. But you haven't answered my question. Why was Iris there?
Paige, why are you asking me this now?
Because I want to know what Iris is trying to cover up.
Rena, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you. You know, you're very fortunate to have Evan on the case. Kevin always thought that he was one of the best. Yes, I know how fortunate I am. And Alex, too. Evan's been wonderful to us. How are you doing? I'll be all right.
Look, if you ladies will excuse me, I've got to get back on my rounds. I'll stop by later, all right?
Thank you.
Bye, Evan. Can I get you some coffee or tea?
No. Let's just sit and talk for a minute.
Iris. Darling, there's something I want to talk to you about, and I'm sure you're not going to want to hear it.
What is it?
The Chris Shaw murder case.
You know, of course I don't want to discuss that. I'm too worried about Alex.
I certainly understand how you feel about Alex, but I also think that you're covering up something. And I just want to know about it.
Hey, Rena.
You know that Daddy figured out that I was helping you with the blackmail money. When he asked me about it, I couldn't deny it.
I understand.
Did you ever pay Chris Shaw any money?
No.
Where's the film? What happened to it?
The police have it.
It's funny, it wasn't in the papers. I would think that that would make headlines.
The DA took custody of it. He suppressed the evidence.
How did Dennis find out about the film?
Rena, will you stop interrogating me? You're beginning to sound like your father.
I know you're on edge.
Well, is it any wonder? My son is in jail for murder, and my husband's had a stroke. How would you feel?
I know, honey. I'm sorry. I just want to help you.
I know.
So, how did Dennis find out?
Well, what does it matter? He found out, that's all.
And he went to confront Chris Shaw and killed him.
Dennis did not kill that man.
He confessed to the police.
I don't care what he told them. He was drunk, and he fought with the man. That's all. I mean, he thinks that because he was in the office, he must have killed him.
Why did the police arrest Paige?
Because she had the film in her possession.
Did Dennis give it to her?
No. She went to Chris's office and took it.
So then you think that Paige killed Chris Shaw and not Dennis?
Yes.
I don't hear much conviction in your voice, Iris.
You know, I'm tired.
Iris, you agreed to Chris Shaw's blackmailing because you were trying to protect Dennis. That turned out to be a big mistake. If you're holding anything back now, you've got to tell Stryker before it's too late.